was diagnosed in 1995 as a teenager and can remember that day my life changed. It was a big surprise. In those times, my family and I were stressed and scared because the future was unknown. What could have been a disastrous situation was avoided because I wanted to live. I educated myself and embraced a new lifestyle. It's amazing how an attitude adjustment can improve your life. Since then, I've matured and I've been exposed to courageous people like Denise Stokes, who's here today, Ivan Fernandez, and others who openly live with the disease and live life to the fullest. I realized that by sharing my story, I can help someone, and I pay inspiration forward. This year, I'm celebrating 32 years living with HIV. I do take life-saving medication every day, but I also have a stronger, more potent medicine in my life. It's Danielle. I'm lucky to have a life partner who provides compassionate care, support, love, and importantly, hope. We are a team.
And now here we are, nearly 10 years after we met as graduating college students. At first, it wasn't so easy to accept this new reality in my life when Robbie shared his story with me. But I had a few important things on my side. I had a little patience, a couple of good women who listened, and most importantly, I had access to HIV education. I called hotlines, I read up, and I got tested. This knowledge is my power. I learned how to protect myself and still have a relationship that I wanted, a person that has become my partner in life. Last year was a very special year for us, a coming out of sorts, to many friends and even some family members, and all for the sake of AIDS Walk. This year, our part in AIDS Walk is just as important to us. HIV/AIDS will not disappear without a proactive fight. Today, we walk to highlight the importance of caregivers and support networks.
We walk in support of healthy, loving relationships.
We also walk to demonstrate that with education and access to services that AIDS service organizations like AIDS Atlanta provide, prevention is entirely possible.
We all deserve health and happiness.
We're all in this together.
Every life deserves hope.
Now please help us welcome to the stage our co-host for this year's opening ceremony. He grew up in a television newsroom where his dad has been a news anchor for 30 years. He lives in Cobb County with his wife and daughters. Their family likes to spend time on the Silver Comet Trail with their golden retriever, and when not chasing the dog or daughters, he likes to play golf, catch a baseball game, or read a good book.
She's a native New Yorker who began her career as a reporter in Fayetteville, Arkansas. She's a past vice president for broadcasting for the Atlanta Association of Black Journalists and is dedicated to helping communities around the metro Atlanta area by donating countless hours with civic associations, hosting events, and mentoring students. She has 3 children, and she brought a tear to everyone's eye during the AIDS Walk kickoff party back in July. Please give a big welcome to our co-hosts from WSB, John Bachman and Jovita Moore.
Let's work on getting these pages turned. Good afternoon, Atlanta!
Whoa, it's a little warmer than it was last year, isn't it?
A little nicer too. How about the marching band, the flag corps? Weren't they fantastic?
Yeah. All right, after that we had the cardio warm-up by Gravity Fitness. I definitely think that, Jovita, you're ready to run.
I'm ready to run. That's right, I'm ready to run. Who's running the 5K today?
Yeah.
Who's running it?
So is she.
Woohoo! All right, I'm going to be out there with you guys in just a few minutes. We know that this is an important cause. John, you and I are both out here, not only because WSB has been a media sponsor for the past 20 years. Personally, we know that it's an important cause. In these 20 years, from starting with the women who I wrote about in my grad school thesis, who were affected with HIV and AIDS, to just 5 months ago when a former intern confided that he was HIV positive. This is a disease that has affected my life in the past 20 years as well.
Yeah, the biggest problem with all this, of course, is that most of us know someone or someone who knows somebody who's been affected by this. That's why we're all here, and it's a huge thing to be a part of this. It's so important for the future, and also as we pay tribute to those in the past.
So not only because of WSB's part, but because of our personal commitment as well, we are here with all of you today. Now, to get us started, I want to call to the stage a very special member of the AIDS Walk Atlanta and 5K Run family. This is his first time with us, and how fitting that this is the best year yet. He's here on this 20th anniversary. He's a businessman. He's been an Atlanta resident since the age of 3. He is no stranger to the nonprofit world and also to the cause of HIV and AIDS prevention and awareness. He is the council member for District 6, which includes Piedmont Park, where we are today. Please welcome to the stage Atlanta City Councilman Alex Wan.
Hello, AIDS Walk Atlanta. Okay, all those years I've been watching Oprah, I've been wanting to do that, so I finally got to do that. On behalf of the mayor, who could not be here today, and the rest of the city council, I'd like to welcome AIDS Walk Atlanta to beautiful Piedmont Park, which is in the heart of my district, District 6. And I have to say, we could not have asked for more beautiful weather for such an important event. When I'm not playing a city council person on TV, I am serving right now as the director of development for Jerusalem House, and we are one of the participating organizations today. Well, we provide permanent supportive housing for homeless and low-income individuals and families affected by HIV and AIDS. And I have to give a quick shout out to my executive director, Charlie Frew, and the rest of our team, who is standing right there. And the reason why I bring that up is because in this position, I've learned so much over the last 15 months about the epidemic, and the numbers are staggering. Every 9.5 minutes, someone else is infected with HIV. There are over 1 million people living in the US with the disease, and Georgia ranks disproportionately higher than our population in terms of cumulative AIDS cases, and it affects mostly Fulton County, DeKalb County, and then of course the city of Atlanta, and that's why we are involved. But today isn't about the challenge, today's really about hope. Hope that's being provided by researchers that are working furiously on a vaccine. Hope that's being provided by participating organizations and other AIDS service organizations that are in the trenches every day fighting the disease. And providing that full continuum of care from education and prevention to treatment and, yes, of course, housing. But finally, hope that's being provided by all of you that are in the park today and those that supported the race. Please, please, please know that the city and I share your commitment to fighting the disease because it impacts all of us. And I can't thank you enough for being here and for what you're doing, and I look forward to continuing the fight with you. So thank you, have a great walk, everybody.
Let's see.
I think this might be you. Me? I think so. It's time for
Craig or? Yeah, okay.
Okay, we got it together. Good afternoon, Atlanta. I said good afternoon, Atlanta. That's what I like to hear. My name is Craig Washington, and I serve as Prevention Programs Manager at AIDS Atlanta. First of all, I would like to thank Councilman Alex Wan for his remarks and encouragement, as well as the Mayor, Mayor Reed, for his well wishes. Today is a great day, isn't it? It's a great day to be alive. In January of this year, I celebrated 50 years of life, and in May, I marked 25 years of living with HIV. And at that time, my friend Khalid asked me, he said, if I had the chance to go back and talk to the 25-year-old Craig, what would I tell him? Well, taking in the sunshine of this day, I would tell that 25-year-old Craig Washington, hold on.
This is the Minute.
Don't give up.
With Word of Mouth Radio.
You've got work to do.
Reporting live.
Somebody needs to hear your testimony from your lips. And finally, it gets better.
Reality Radio.
25 years ago, when I relied on faith and shared my situation with a few friends, my T cells didn't automatically triple. And when my doctor asked me if I were homosexual or normal, I didn't know a change was gonna come. I committed to being open to the possibility that somehow, despite the odds, I would make it. I got clear about my purpose. I began writing and speaking up, speaking out on behalf of those who believed that their silence would protect them, to share my truth, to inspire others. It got better. When I decided I would not walk in shame and trade one closet for another, it got better. When we raised tens of thousands of dollars in Atlanta to help AIDS service organizations keep their doors open in this economy, it gets better, Atlanta. When we challenge the injustice out in the world and the prejudice in our own hearts, it gets better. The AIDS walk, this AIDS work, has never, ever been just about AIDS. So if you look at Aid Atlanta's mission, you might say it's about breaking barriers and building community. Looking at the list of partnering organizations, you might say it's about making a positive impact with our open hands to build an ARCA or an Anise or a Jerusalem House, putting together alliances of faith and health to aid in Atlanta and Gwinnett in our own living room so that we are home but not alone. This work calls us to embrace our differences, not as divisions, but as opportunities to stretch our minds and open our hearts a little wider. For many, it is not safe to be different. In our cities, our schools, our homes, this year several young people paid an awful toll just being who they were. They were punished for being who they were. It was just too hard for them. They saw no evidence that a change was gonna come. We must tell our young and ourselves that it will get better today. Let us have a moment of silence. I'd like to have a moment of silence for our fallen young, their families and loved ones. Thank you. Atlanta, let this day, the 20th anniversary of AIDS Walk Atlanta, set a new landmark in our lives. 25 years from today, you'll be able to say to yourself, thank you for doing the walk. You can say that on Sunday, October 17, 2010, I walked for a vaccine. In my wheelchair, I proceeded with courage for a cure. That was a day, yeah, I remember that day. We stomped stigma down. Today, we all step in the name of love, in the names of all the beloveds we carry in our heart with us today. Thank you, Atlanta, for making it better. You're the best. Thank you. And now, it is my great honor to recognize the exceptional organizations that serve more than 20,000 people living with HIV and affected by HIV and AIDS throughout Metro Atlanta. Together, they provide direct services from housing and medication and case management to prevention and counseling and HIV testing. So please hold your applause until we recognize all of these amazing organizations. Aid Gwinnett, AIDS Alliance for Faith and Health, AIDS Research Consortium of Atlanta, Anise, Home But Not Alone, Jerusalem House, Living Room, Open Hand, Positive Impact, and last but certainly not least, Aid Atlanta. So let's give it up for all these partnering organizations, and it's the amazing work that they do. Yes, just amazing. They're doing the work year after year in our city, and we appreciate all that they do. And now I have the distinct pleasure of introducing my boss. So I better get it right. He's a man who believes that through this journey, we can achieve the beloved community that Martin Luther King Jr. envisioned. He's an amazingly inspired and inspiring man, the excellent and ever-esteemed Executive Director of Aid Atlanta, Tracy Elliott.
Thank you, Craig.